All right. We are live again, coming at you for more Advent of Code prep work. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And let me start by just tweeting out some stuff, and then we'll get into it. So let's see. Throw this over here. So today we're probably going to be like, I guess we're like creating the dynamic targets. Let's say today probably looking at creating dynamic tasks. And the I want to say like the Crystal API. That is kind of what it is, but there we go. Let me drop the there we go. I think we still put this in the next one. Let's jump into Blue Sky and do the same thing there. I don't know if there's any good tools for like double posting these things, but it's, I think here we can just, oh, let me grab the actual link because I think Twitter's going to mask it, right? Does that work? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm definitely a Blue Sky noob. Yep, that works. Cool. All right. That's enough socials. Well, let me turn on. I think that's enough socials. No, I'm going to put something on the Discord here real quick. While we're waiting for Discord, apparently has some new updates to load. Let me do here, just start doing some stream notes for today. What is today? 11/19. Just kind of like plan out what we're going to do in terms of the stream today. Let me drop it in. I guess over here. My hair was real weird back then. I don't like that. But it's all right. What did I want to drop? Oh, I wanted to drop the pretty much what I did here. We'll throw it in there. Sorry, I'm doing some stuff on Discord off screen, but we'll start playing the day out here soon. right. There we go. All right. Feel a little more settled now. Yeah, okay. So November 19th. Main thing I'd like to do today is just get our plugin working. I think maybe just like a summary of where we're at. Like a starting summary. Oops. Went back to my default size. So last time we're investigating the current state of the template last year. So there were some things I had identified as things I'd like to change. The main themes is we wanted to simplify stuff. Yeah. So simplify. That's going to be the main theme of this. Project Crystal is like a really good way of doing that. If you're not familiar with Project Crystal, this is a way of cleaning up additional config, especially around stuff that you might need to do for like, what's the right way to put it? Like administrative sort of tasks, I guess, sort of the meta kind of tasks around your workspace, which is exactly what I'm trying to do for the starter template. I want to take a lot of cognitive load off of people. I want to drop people in and they can essentially just start working. And I'm going to bring in I'm going to bring in with the plugin here a convention to let people do any kind of data sets around their Advent of Code stuff. So let me pull up the Advent of Code. Like we'll just look at like day one of last year. So 2023. I think I still have that. So I think I did it last year up to a certain day. I think maybe that was the year before. I don't recall. I seem to recall doing some of them. But the way it goes is like there's these kind of riddles that come in, kind of essentially algorithms. Excuse me. And they always seem to follow a very specific format, which is here is a problem. Here's a sample data set, right? And given that sample data set, here is the output that data set produced. So given these, then you create, like run your solution for this massive ass data set. So that's kind of what we're programming around. We want to give people a way of like just having something to clone down, or in the case of the starter repo, we actually have a command that we can run here. So npx create ts aoc starter. This will go and create the template on someone's machine. I want to also be able to, this year, to make sure that we are just putting up somewhere the output of this, like the clean output of this, for someone to just fork and jump into. And you know, if we end up doing, we'll probably end up doing some interactive prompts when we run this, just around some basic questions. I think one of them will be like, do you want to install a test runner or not? And if they say yes, we'll put in vtest in here for folks. If not, I think most people will not want to use the test framework. That's my guess, but in the case that they do, I'd really like to support that if possible. That'll be like a that'll be a later goal, though. I don't want to be focused too much on that today. Today, I want to be working on our AOC plugin, which we started last time. So this is a way of just creating inside of our workspace all the different tasks that we can do, all the different tasks that the user is going to run. So the example we have of this that's kind of working right now, I don't know if it's really working. Honestly, we got to kind of jump into some of that stuff. But day one is kind of set up the way I want it to be for people, where this is going to this is going to be what essentially what the user is going to get, we're going to hand off to people. And the idea is they implement their solution here inside of here. We're going to give them a utility to run that solution. I want to make all these things very transparent. So run solution will be, it's kind of like, what's the name of that package? Almost like Shad CDN, where like they create a component not by installing it from a package, but actually like writing it to your disk, like writing a templated component to your disk. And that's the solution I kind of want to use for this one. So for most people, you just know, well, run the solution. Top level weight. Not supported, but I'm being sidetracked. But I don't think we had that issue yesterday, which is weird. But essentially, what I want people to be able to do then to run this is they will run the commands. Let's clear it out. NX day 1A, and or I also probably want to just alias this to NX like 1A. And hit enter. So that alias isn't here yet, but we can say day 1A, and that will go through and run stuff. This doesn't look right. Obviously, there's some issues with the plugin right now, but essentially we want people to run that. We want to run their code. We want to print out very nice and green their answer, and then we'll go from there. So maybe if we go back to stream notes, we'll say top priority is getting our plugin working. If that works right, I want to like just explore. If we have extra time after that, I want to just explore like cool console outputs or festive console decorations. So that'll be fun. So yeah, I think that's enough background. We can jump into actually trying to solve things now. I think so. Yesterday we hit this issue. So the way we're going to install this plugin is simply like this. Inside of our NX config, we're just going to say, hey, use this as a plugin because the constant we're exporting is implementing our NX plugin interface. That's being exported down here. That's kind of how NX is going to run this code to hook this into our project graph. And pretty much what I'm wanting to do is use this and use the data files that we see here as a way of almost like driving which tasks we're going to put into the workspace. Now, I think there's some issues with what's happening right now. I think that's actually issues with how some of the project graph is being cached. So I think one of the things I want to do first here, we're just going to like remove all of our node modules. And let's do, I want to try to pm install here. And essentially just resetting some things. And then we can take a look at the project graph as it currently stands. NX show project. Okay. Okay. So we have a lot of projects or a lot of tasks in here already. And they're coming in from our NPM scripts. So this is, remember, we're starting with last year's. I think ultimately, we're going to want to support this. But for now, I think I'm actually going to clear out a lot of the stuff in our package JSON scripts. So if we look at scripts here, there's just going to be a whole bunch of them that are just essentially aliasing to NX commands. And the way NX is set up right now, just looking at the project graph again, we're actually reading in those NPM scripts and converting them into NX tasks themselves. So it's kind of like we're setting up scripts to run these NX tasks that we have set up. But then we have, I'm pretty sure these won't work just because that's not really fully supported right now. It's almost like, oh, that's probably why we saw the loop we did. Because we're going to run NX day 1A, and that is going to run day 1A. That's probably why things are just spiraling out of control. So let's get rid of that for now. And that's just because we had removed a lot of these, and they're not. I think actually, if the plugin was working correctly, a lot of these would work mostly the same. We're going to change the way a lot of these scripts work, actually. So I don't know. We'll just remove that for now, and this should make things a little more understandable. All right. So, excuse me. This is close to what I wanted, but there's obviously some mix-ups in the plugin. So just kind of debugging things. I definitely want to have a couple things worked out here. I wonder what this is. From day 1A. Okay. I think I'm just not parsing things correctly. And then a lot of the other, a lot of the formats, a lot of the convention isn't properly set up. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these weirdly named tasks over here. But I think this is actually closer. This one's actually closer. And we can kind of figure out what's going on from there. So let's start working through that. Coming into the AOC plugin. So the way the plugin is going to work, essentially we're passing it a glob of all the different files. We want to create tasks based off of. So the typical way we'd use this is for example, if we were creating like a playwright plugin, what we'd glob for here would probably be something like / playwright dot config.ts, or if I could spell like this. And then inside of files, this would give us a static array of every file that matched that. And then we could handle that however we wanted to. So usually it would look something like this, where at the top level of the plugin, we get all the files and we iterate through them, and then we create or we make adjustments based off each file, and then we return the result. So, yeah, that's essentially what we're setting out to do. Inside of here is this function is essentially handling a single file and returning the output for that single file. So in handling the single file, we essentially want to tie, we're going to return a tuple where the first item we're returning is the file to handle, or the file that's triggering this update to the project graph. And then in here is the updates to the project graph. And the idea here is, well, now we can kind of cache that off. So if we ever see this file change or something that affects this file change, we can then like recalculate the project graph more lazily there. So it'd be more efficient that way. But pretty much for the project at the root, that's what this is. Here's what to do with it. Its name is going to be this, and we're going to adjust like the targets. So the targets is just going to be where our tasks are. So the thing that doesn't seem to be working well right now, excuse me, is just this right here. So let me actually just console.log just that. And then just so we can run this, let's just call that function. And we'll just pass it. Yeah. I think that's kind of what we want. It probably actually need to pass it the data file because that's what we're doing it off of. Data.ts. TSX. TXT. And now we can just use Node to run it. I should just rename this to JS actually, just because the way NX is working right now, it's actually just parsing this as common JS anyways. So make an adjustment there. Oh, and now it's trying to write it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So that's our issue. There's a problem with that. And that's why it's exactly why we see what we saw here, which was NaN undefined. All right, so we can fix that now though. I'm pretty sure I had Copilot run this for me, but yeah, so that's drive file. What did we pass that? Just the file. Okay. So we're saying split that. I don't know. I feel like this is trying to be too fancy. Let's just parse one out at a time. So let's see. Let's do it like this. We're going to say, instead of jumping right to that, we're going to say directory and then file name equals file dot split. There we go. And then we can kind of constant day. Yeah, that's about what I wanted to do. So we had two chunks, 1 and 2. And then the day information we're looking for is just that right there. So if we split it that way and get the one at index 1, that'll give us the day. And then from there, we want to say part equals file name. Yep, so part A. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Then what's the last piece we want to get from that? The data set name. Okay, so data set So we want to, with this string right here, let's do like this. So with this string right here, the data set name should be undefined. Yeah. But for, how did we want to do it? Looking at day one. So data.sample. See, and then for data.foo, should be foo here. And here should be sample. All right. So I'm trying to think of the best way of parsing this out. Let's try run lining it. Data set name. So if we split it by a period, so if that equals 1 length. So if the result of that is 1, 2, 3, then we can skip it. If it's 4, 3, undefined. Otherwise, I guess we could always just take the third. That should work. Otherwise, part, it's not part dot split, it's actually file dot split. Split is the one index 0, 1, 2. Yep, that's right. Okay. So then, is that name? So here, if there is a data set name, it should be day part data set name. Otherwise, it should just be day in part. All right. So let's run that again. All right, that's what I wanted. Then for the second one, if we did sample, so now it should be 1A in undefined and then 1A in sample. So cool. That's what we wanted. All right. And turn this back on. We can get rid of some of the consoles in here. I could leave those in the comments. Why not? Cool. So let's try. Let's run an NX reset actually first. Then we'll show the project. Did I leave some TypeScript stuff in there? Oh, it's because I renamed it. Let's go to the index.json. That makes sense. All right. Excuse that. Oh, goodness. How odd. Okay. I wonder if I'm going to definitely talk to folks about this after the stream, I think. But I think renaming this back to TS. Oh, not JTS. Okay. All right. Well, we're making some progress. There are no issues in creating the project graph. However, there are no targets right now. So something went wrong. Let's just debug what that was, and we can figure it out from there. Let's see if we go back to the AOC plugin. That's in there. So show project. So targets is just empty right now, which is interesting. I wonder here. Let's just try logging out the results. Well, let's see. Let's try this. We'll create a target for file. Okay. Interesting. Well, I'm sure there's probably a better solution for this, but this is the way it works. So I'm just running with this for now. Right. I should have just left these in. Console log. Or actually, I don't even need to console log it. I just need to call it. Is there another console I left in? Oh, yeah. Can you get rid of this? Okay. Excuse me. Let's do this. So we can actually see you. I want to see what's in that object. Okay. So this is what I expected to see. Now, if I rename this, yo, what's up, Poria? I'm doing good. Better than my voice would have you believe it or not, but doing pretty well. Thanks. So let's see. Given this is actually, I'm intrigued. I wonder if this might be an issue. Let me add these things to where we create the, excuse me, to where into here. We add this. I wonder if this is what I need to do too. Let's try making this adjustment. See if that helps. No, still empty targets. Let me try setting this back. No, still empty targets. I wonder, am I not putting this in correctly at the top level? Yeah, I'm not sure. Look at the output again, just here. I wonder if there's some issues with the target name. I wouldn't think so. Starting with a number. Let me try adjusting that because I do want to adjust that here. I wouldn't think that would fix, but we'll see. Okay. Still empty targets. So, I don't know. Root, so the source root's right, the name's right. Out of curiosity, let me try doing it with this. Let's just delete the project JSON. I don't think ultimately we'll need that actually. Okay. Could not find project AOC. Let's try that. Yep. So something about it's if I remove the project.json, we just don't have the project AOC, which that is actually not what I expected. I expected we'd actually see the project being created via this. Makes me wonder if we're not doing it right somehow. I'm going to enable the typing back again. Oh, excuse me. Let me restart TS real quick. Do I not have the dev kit? Interesting. I wonder if that was maybe part of it. I wouldn't have thought so. All right. Well, before we try to run that, let's just see. Okay. Something about this. Let's do like this. All right. So it's totally fine with that. The main thing I wanted to check here was just make sure there's nothing that the typing could let us know about what we were doing wrong, about what I was doing wrong. So that looks all right. Let's try. We're going to turn Typescript back off so we can make this work. Excuse me. Left some TypeScript in there. Okay, so we're back to where we started at least. I wonder why the AOC project is not there. I know we could add the project JSON, and that would let us see it at least. But why is this not working as expected? Results. Let's try TypeScript again. Oh, excuse me. Pardon me. Any. Oh, did I do this wrong? Oh, this should be right. Notes function given project configuration files. Config file source. Result. That's exactly what we're returning. So what should this result be? Projects. Project root to project configuration. So project root, this should definitely be, this should not be AOC. It should be the project root, which is, for us, it's just the root of the workspace. That's the only thing, that's the only piece I think that was really missing. What does it not like about this? Oh, that's right. We have to be more explicit about typing here. But as soon as I add that, the typing issue goes away. So that all looks good now. Let's try running it again. Well, let's try before we move it over. Let's run that. Okay. Excuse me. That looks correct to me. So then we would take that. That is coming into here and being pushed onto the results. And then we will return the result. That looks correct. Oh, God damn it. I left this in where I was explaining about it. All right, that's fine. That's why we weren't getting any hits. Let's say, so this is day star slash look star data star txt. There. Now everything makes sense. All right, so this should look the same, but now when we actually, let's turn this back. This whole thing is very frustrating, but the workflow, while tedious, works. So we'll not mess with it. All right, so now I expect to see tasks. I forget pipe it to JQ. Let's try it again. There we go. Okay. We've got a lot of tasks here. A lot of it is junk because I've updated day 1A to the new format. But that's the only one I've adjusted to. Everything else is from last year's, which, like I said, I want to simplify it. A lot of that is going to be in just the naming. Let's go ahead and do it for day 1. I'll make all the adjustments here. Okay. Okay. And then every other day, I'm just going to delete for now, just because I don't want it. They're all just carbon copies of each other. I don't want to worry about them right now while we're getting this stuff set up. All right. So now we have something like what I was hoping to see. So I think this is actually correct. So if we run, let's clear it out. If we want NX day 1A, we don't like that. Watch will not found. Interesting. That command is wrong. We have fixed that. So it should be, yeah, I think I just didn't evaluate part. I just dropped it in. Let's see, that should be in the plugin here. Yeah. Let's try this. Okay. That is what I was hoping to see, actually. Okay. That's interesting, but that is what I expect to see. It's unfortunate we're getting like the daemon issues here. But the hope would be, as soon as we added a new file, let's say a data.bar.txt. So now without the whole goal with the dynamic targets is now we should be able to do a bar. And this should work. Oh, it does work. That's awesome. So I don't like that though. Yeah, it's so weird. All right. I wonder. Excuse me. So in the options here, just looking at some of the JSON configuration workspace. So we should be able to just disable. I'm tempted to do this as a way of fixing all these issues we seem to keep hitting. It's because we are playing with the project graph. So the way the daemon works is it's like messing with that project graph eagerly as like we see file changes. I think like it's just running too close to that when I think that's why we're hitting some issues. Hey, Jonathan, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, I think let's just set that to false for now and see if that solves our issues for us. So we'll go to nxjson. So now if we do a new file as, so we should be able to now do, we should have dynamically added this new task just from that file being present. And I think now we are outputting a lot of stuff. Interesting. This is new. I think this is because we disabled the daemon. This was always running in the background. But these are finally the console logs I was hoping to see before, but that was always running via the daemon. But yeah, that is the output I expected to see. The task is there. Let me go ahead. We'll go into our plugin. Let's get rid of some of those consoles. We'll try it again. Excuse me. So we do have this. I wonder if I just PM add these things. Does that solve the issue? I don't know. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if this is the issue we had seen before where NX was just reading in this, or I think it still is, it's reading in this TypeScript file in as common.js. And we just weren't seeing this error before or this warning before simply because this was just running on the daemon. But this is what I wanted. So the plugin is done, I'm going to say. So we just go to stream. Did my stream notes get removed? No. I suppose they must have. Oh well. Well, that's done. I think that's the main thing I wanted to do, was just be able to adjust for that. We now have like the plugin working as we intended. The way we're hooking it up now is just directly linking to the file. What we're going to want to do is in the actual AOC starter, when we go through like creating this repo, we're going to want to publish the plugin. So rather than just linking directly to a file, we'll go through a build step. So we'll actually use proper TypeScript and type check all the way through and build it out to a compiled plugin, publish that to NPM. And then when we template out the project, we'll just include that in the dependencies. And I believe that's already out there right now. It's just a matter of making sure that plugin is registered. Brocco, what's up, dude? Hope you're having a good day. I saw your update on X, so I hope everything's going well, man. If you want to stream with me more, let me know. It'd be great to have you on and just pair programs sometime. It'd be fun. I'm not doing much Angular stuff these days, though. Just a warning. I think my Angular days might be behind me. But I don't know. I'd be interested in firing up some of the Angular stuff again, just seeing how everything's changed. But yeah, React is definitely my tool of choice right now for the front end. It has more function of just TSX than that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, I don't know what Type Hero is, but yeah, Advent of Code is always a good. It's always a fun thing for the first several days when it's still easy. Man, after like day 10, I'm just like, oh, it becomes a chore. Let me tell you. So yeah, we'll see. Typehero.dev. Let's give it a shot. Excuse me. Okay. Neat. What is it? I'm very confused. Like what exactly it is. Advent of TS. Okay. Is this like challenges? Did I just hack it? Hey, Edition Addict, how you doing, man? Cool. Yeah, Go is really neat. I have never really touched it, but I've heard really good things. Like pure non-runtime. Yeah, I'd be very interested to see that. I would love to be able to support in the starter, just kind of like shifting languages per day. I don't think we'll get that this year, but I'd love to be able to at least do at like the top level, be like, hey, are you going to do TypeScript or Rust? If I could do that, I would be very happy. But we'll see. I don't think we're going to get that far. I think simply getting the TypeScript one, I would be happy if I just got TypeScript in, just for the template. So, but yeah. So what am I supposed to do? This is too much reading, Brocco. Excuse me. Is this like testing your types? They're directed. Okay, back to Explore. I thought I was in Explore. Okay. Excuse me. Why generic arguments need defaults? Okay, so essentially these are challenges. I'm still not sure what I am supposed to do though. Am I supposed to change the top one? And I gotta like log in, I guess, to play with it. Okay, yeah. So these are the tests down here. And this is read only. So I'm only supposed to do stuff up here. And these are okay. So this is someone's test that someone else wrote. I need to write TypeScript to satisfy it. I get it. And they're not passing right now. I get it. That's pretty neat. Yeah. If you want to pair program through it, Bracco, someday, let me know. That would be fun. Because yeah, I would love to get better at TypeScript, just like all this kind of stuff. Excuse me. These are the kinds of things that I have a very I feel like a very solid understanding of, but that understanding has a very rigid wall. So cool. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I would, if I'm going to do one of the two, I think I'd prefer Advent of Code, but yeah, I don't know if there's just because there's like Advent of TS, it seems, but there's also just regular stuff here. So you can kind of go through it all. But this is like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too slow to read through it all. But this seems very involved for like beginner, I guess. I never do typing tests. That seems like a road too far to me. But yeah, I keep forgetting Thanksgiving's next week. But yeah, I have to figure out turkey and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, cool. All right, so just wrapping up thoughts before we head out. Plugin is in. This is essentially what I want for the to be able to hand people. I think the next step. So tomorrow we'll just codify this in and get to a place where we can publish a template and put something out there, and that way at least we have the MVP, so like the minimum viable product for what I want the starter template to look like. So that will be good. After that, I need to kind of explore some more top level questions about like, do I want to give people the option of adding in an actual proper test runner or test framework like vtest, for example? I think a lot of people would appreciate that. I do think the people that would appreciate that would be in the minority. I think just being able to run the sample data via something like this sample, I think most people would be happy with that. Yeah, if you're going to use a testing framework, I think vtest would be the one I'd reach for right now. Jest is always a solid choice, but I think vtest is the one that would get a lot of people interested. Excuse me. I feel like, well, if we make the decision to allow for a testing framework, and we only include one, it would be vtest, I would think. I would be interested in seeing how easy it would be just to give people the option of like, do you want to use a testing framework, vtest, jest, or no? I think with the NX plugins that we have available now, I think that might, like giving the option between vtest and jest, may be actually pretty trivial, just because the NX plugins should handle almost all of that, at least from my perspective, in terms of like publishing the template. So that would be cool. I think, yeah, just figuring all that out would be it. If we make the decision to add a testing framework, it would not be that weird to have two, but adding a testing framework in is going to be a significant amount of work, just because at that point I'll need like a.ts, but I'll also need like a new file that's like a.spec.ts. And at that point, and then I need to like create something in here. I think it might not actually be that bad, because it would essentially be just import this function, await run solution, and then like expect. That wouldn't be that bad at all, I don't think. And the I'm pretty sure the APIs, the way Jest and vtest work, at least, it would just look exactly the same. Yeah. So yeah, I think that would be I think that's not too bad. And that would just be when we do the initial generation. It's like, do you add spec files, yes or no? It would be, do you add spec files, yes or no? And that would be something we do with like the project generation. And then it would also just be, well, I guess I'd have to add something inside of the plugin here too. It would almost be like a second plugin, because this one would be to create the actual tasks. And then we need to run a second one, and that would be for the spec files. So each spec file, we could create a task per spec file. That would not be bad at all, I don't think. So the only unfortunate thing is, I think the way we'd want to do this wouldn't be that bad either, because just people would never had to do it. But they would actually have to include two plugins here. Excuse me. One for like putting the actual tasks in, like the proper tasks, and then a second one for just putting in all the testing ones. That would just be at project creation. We just say, well, what plugins do we include in the plugins array? And no one would need to know about that. No one would need to touch that after creation is done. So, yeah. Well, I have my work cut out for tomorrow. This was fun. Braca, I'll reach out to you on whatever. We can figure something out there. But yeah, I'd love to, if you want to teach me some TypeScript stuff, I am down. So I'd love to get like library level adept at TypeScript. I feel like I'm very pragmatic adept at TypeScript, and I'm happy with that. So yeah. All right. Well, before I go off, let me add a remote here. Just jump into GitHub real quick, so we can at least push this up for people to play with. And I can post it here in like the Discord this way too. Well, let's just do a new repo. Sample AOC template 2024. Create it. Boom. There it is. I need to update the README and everything here. Let me do that real quick. And also, there's just a lot of. Is this right? Yeah, that's right. All right. There's just a lot of junk in here right now. Let me do this. So we'll git add, drop a commit. Up. Now let's just adjust the README, and hopefully this should be just simpler. Hopefully this is a testing ground for the AOC template for 2024. We want to support creating a new repo via or by simply forking a repo that we will provide I'll just remove a lot of this stuff. Bring the puzzles to the file. Is that all it is? This actually, instead of day X, we'll just use day 1, and people will be able to infer that. This file. And to do note on dynamic targets based on data convention. Oh, it's good enough for me. There we go. All right. End of stream. I'll catch you all next time. Peace.